Hello. Welcome back to, whatever we are. Episode, nothing vlog, something or other. The words are already escaping me. We're off to a great start here, folks. Anyway, just doing a few things today. Need to put a couple of things up. And just thought I'd bring you along for the... Oof, it's windy out here. Just thought I'd bring you along for the journey that is today. Yep, I need these. I need to, we just got done taking a trip to Vegas to celebrate the wife's birthday. And I need to plug in my emergency things. And I left the power cord and these, in the car. Anyway, got to charge them all up. So the power cord goes to this thing, jump starter pack, a little bit of a power supply. It'll do some DC power supply. Pretty good. When we had our road trip last summer with my daughter and granddaughter, I used this thing to actually power my little refrigerator when we were going to be outside of the car for a bit, outside of the truck. Let's see what kind of charge it has. There it comes. 80, charge 85, charge 90, charge 95, charging full. Okay, well, apparently it was pretty close to full, or was full. That's fine. Gonna go ahead and plug in the Alloy Man while I'm at it. You might remember this thing if you watched the review on this thing. Gonna go ahead and plug it in. And that's what these are for. These are a bunch of dang it, lug nut. Excuse me, verklempt. Some lug nut sockets, impact supposedly rated, and they go with it. So these things go with us on all of the trips, and I've had to use them exactly one time. First time pulling the Striker toy hauler with the truck, had a flat on the trailer, and the Alloy Man came in handy. So did that. Anyway, been needing to do that for a few days now. Got those back on the thing, and actually I need, there's a crate I keep those in, but they're in the bed of the truck. So we're gonna get that out real quick. Let's see here. I don't need keys, I just put in my code. You're not allowed to watch my code. There we go. Tailgate is popped. And here we are. I need this. Very good. It's a little chilly and windy compared to what it was, last week it was in the low 90s of the Fahrenheit, style temperature, if you will. And now it's not even 70, but windy. Don't like the wind. Anyway, so that appears, we got that. Those are charging. That's charged. That's charging. Okay, don't look over here. There's things over here that are coming, and then probably the next video or so. Don't be looking over here. No. Not allowed just yet. I told you don't look over there. Follow instructions. Okay, where was I? Oh, need an adjustable wrench. Which one? Let's do this one. So last week I had myself a bit of a water leak. As a matter of fact, I need to grab a different tripod because this little handheld jobber is just going to fall over. Last week I had a little bit of a water leak in my water heater cabinet. And it was not the water heater, thankfully. That's where I have water lines that run water to my evaporative cooler, swamp cooler, And something else. Oh, water line into my refrigerator that is in the laundry room, which is where I make all my ice. One of those water lines had burst and it was making a mess and I had to fix it. But there was some insulation wrap on my water heater and I had to remove that and throw it away because it got wet. So now what I need to do is restrap or redo the earthquake straps on the, it is dirty in there. Don't judge me for this, people. I need to reattach the 2 earthquake straps on the thing, so needed a wrench for that. Anyway, so like I was saying, one of the water lines in here had burst, and you know, that's never a terribly good thing. I don't know if I know how these work. I just kind of latched it back over, but it's got to do something. We're just going to put it back together. You know what we don't want to have happen is we don't want an earthquake to knock over the water heater. That may be a bad thing. And you know, we are prone to the earthquakes out here in Southern California, so we'll just go ahead and put this thing back together. That feels pretty good. Let's do the bottom one real quick. Okay. It is windy, my friends. There we go. That should do. Perfect. There we go. Nothing too fancy. Just put the earthquake straps back in so this doesn't fall over when we have an earthquake. Lovely. Okay. Like I said, eventually we'll go back and get some more insulation for that thing, but we're heading into summer now, so not really needed. And that's too windy. I'll meet you back in the shop over there. All right, well, that's much better. Okay, well, what else did we have on our list of things to do this afternoon? I don't really know. Adjustable wrenches, where do you go? You go back there. Okay. We're charged already. Well, that didn't take long. Well, that just shows that I haven't needed to use this stuff very much, and that's fine. So we'll take that off the, there we go, off the charger. And it can go back in the case. And if any of you remember, this is the charger that gives you current instead of current for the impact wrench, whose instructions called it a leaf blower. Anyway, it's fine. It was free for doing a review, and the thing actually does work pretty good for what it is. Okay. All right. And it kind of lifts sometimes. Oh, it's still plugged in. Ooh, careful. Here we go. There we go. Fits nicely in there. Okay. Y'all hear the neighbor's dog over there barking? And it's not my neighbor. That's my next door neighbor. It's a different neighbor that's next door to my next door neighbor. They got a dog that yips and yaps over there. But it's so windy, probably not even picking it up on the camera microphone here. Anyway, there we go. Perfect. Well, that's nice. Well, I think we probably need to get this thing sorted and back on its feet. And by this thing, I mean a Billy Badass. So I just need to put coolant in it. You know, if you watched the video from probably last week, we did a thing to it. What did we do to it? Oh, the front gear case. Yeah, we attempted to rebuild it and ended up just replacing it, but we had to drain all the coolant, so now I need to put coolant back in it, and we ran out of coolant, so yeah, we're gonna fill that back up. All right, so yeah, let's take the lid off of this, and we put some in there, ran out. Let's throw the lid, I don't know, let's put the lid over here. Ran out, and went to the O'Reilly today and picked up some more. Now, we don't race or anything fancy, and you know, we don't put a lot of stress on these. We're just going with Prestone, whatever that is. Prestone, all vehicles, you know, stuff. So, quite honestly, we're just going to put a bunch in the funnel here. This is the premix, ready-made, ready to use. That way I don't have to mess with mixing with the water. Now in total, the quad's only supposed to take about less than 3/4 of a gallon. But I don't know how much is left in it, but it just took more than half of this right now. All right, so it's not going to take any more than that. Let's give it a little extra. And then, of course, we need to start it, which, you know, I always look forward to hearing this old dude run. Sounds good. So we're going to set the coolant down over here. It's still bubbling a little bit, but we need to get this thing fired back up. Okay. Oh, I need the key. Let's get the key. So anyway, we're going to fire this up. And the way this funnel works is pretty neat. It, well, it holds the fluid there, and when it decides it's ready, it'll burp, and it's fine. I imagine it's going to take it a little while to go ahead and warm up enough to suck down some fluid, so we're just going to be patient. All right, well, there we go. We've got the fan running. So that's good. The radiator is nice and toasty. This water's getting pretty warm. I think we're getting close to having this thing done. We're going to let that fan cycle off. But I think we've got this thing pretty well buttoned up. All right, the fan is turned off. So let's go ahead. I'm going to set this on here. Let's kill the engine. I just put this on there in case it wanted to bubble up. So we're just going to let that set for just a minute. Okay. How hot is that? Not too bad. So now we take the stick and we shove it down in the hole to kind of seal it there. We'll get our bottle of Prestone here. This is what I kind of like about this system, and you can get these Harbor Freight, any of the O'Reilly AutoZones, Advance, wherever you shop for things. Put it back on here. And then we can put all the fluid back that we didn't need back in the container. Lovely. Just set this over here for now. Okay. And then now we have a little bit of tricky business. We need to get this off, and I don't know. Oh, it's not too hot. Okay. Okay. Good. Good stuff. And then we can put this thing back on. There. Is that on all the way? Yep. Lovely. Okay, well, with that out of the way, should be good to go. We just got to put the front end of this thing back on. That's just the front cover, you know, that goes here. The front bumper. And then, you know, whatever that is, the rack. Well, there he is, finally back down on the ground where he belongs. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm real anxious to know if that four-wheel drive unit we put up in the front, I'm anxious to know if that thing works. So I'm kind of thinking we take this old dude for a rip just around the backyard. First, I think we need to see what it's like when we don't have four-wheel drive. Before we do any of that, though, we need lights. Oh, yeah. Okay. Back them up? Sure. Two-wheel drive. We should get some good wheel spin out of the back. Oh, yeah, I think we did. Can we turn it around? Okay, now for this test, we're going to engage four-wheel drive, and we're going to see if we get the front wheels to bite. I think we did, but I think we need to see that again. What do you think? Yeah, I agree. So I don't know about y'all, but I'd say four-wheel drive is, oh, yeah, there's dirt all on the concrete there. That's fine, the dirt can stay there. But I'd say four-wheel drive's good to go in my mind. That's enough testing. So there's a guy out there on the Facebook place, Brandon, who loves the Polaris quads. He's got an old Polaris Trail Boss. He nicknames the Boss, and he's always talking about how he loved the cranky cold starts from the Boss. Well, I've decided to go ahead and do something a little bit for him here in case he watches the video. I don't even know if he's a subscriber, if he's ever watched a video. Look, I have no clue. But I'm going to go ahead and give him a cranky cold start on Ruby Sue. So, old Ruby Sue here, y'all know her as the 2002 Polaris Sportsman 400. We've had this old girl about 15 years. But listen, she hasn't been started in probably about 10 months. Just been sitting here, being a good old girl. So we're going to go ahead and give it a cold start. It's a good idea to do it anyway. But Brandon, this is for you and the Boss. A cranky cold start. Let's turn the fuel on. Let's unplug the battery tender, because in my mind, that makes sense. Turn the key on there. Let's pull the choke. Just, I think 3 pumps on the throttle. Yes. And let's just see if she fires up. Oh, there she is. Oh, there she was. Maybe if we flash the lights once, maybe now she'll do it. There she is. There's the good old girl. Indeed. She never lets me down. This one's a gooder. Will she idle? Sort of. She's cold and she's been asleep for a while. But anyway, Brandon, like I said, this is for you and the Boss. The cranky cold start coming from Jessa. So now I'm just gonna, I guess, let it sit there and run. I like to make sure there's no gas in the carburetor, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that fuel valve off, let it run until she dies, and then put all the rest of these quads back in their homes. You know, there. Well, folks, there you have it. Everybody's put back into their respective homes. Battery tenders are plugged in, making sure that the batteries stay charged up. And, you know, there you go. Okay, I need to make some more room. Never mind that. I was just dragging donkey across the floor here. Anyway, I've got tools to put away. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. Do I need give it? Give me the battery. And while you're at it, give me this battery. All right. Okay. Don't look at the workbench. 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 Look down. Okay, there we go. I say don't look at the workbench because there's some surprises over there for, you know, the next video. And they may, or give that to me, they may or may not have anything to do with donkey. Just saying. Just saying. A clean shop is a happy shop, and that's why these days mine is sad. It's not so clean or happy. La-da-dee. Okay. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, this needs to go over there. Take the socket off. Yep. Okay, this just goes here. Perfect. All right, now what? Oh, we've got all these things. Okay. I'm curious if anybody watching out there labels their drawers. You know, I like to label my drawers. But since I labeled all of these things, I have actually added that cabinet over there. Well, not the cabinet, but that chest over there. And I haven't labeled anything over there. Moved some things from here over there, and I've got some things down in here. So I've got a lot of drawers that are not, you know, officially assigned. That's the way you would say it. And because of that, I haven't gone back and relabeled anything the way I would want to. Yes, I realize quarter, 3/8, half, 3/8, half, adapters and things. Yeah, I did that right after I bought this big cabinet from the Harbor Freight, you know. Anyway, I was saying a few words and so I haven't, my whole thought process behind some of that was really, what is this now? 15, 16, I think that goes there. Was that I wasn't sure if the stuff I've moved around is going to stay where it lives currently, and I think it probably will, because there are drawers over in that one that I open because I don't remember what's in them when I'm looking for things, and I need to stop doing that. It makes me crazy to not have labels on it. What is this? 9/16. That goes there. Okay. 3/4. What is that? 9/16. I think that goes there. Yeah. Anyway, it makes me crazy that I've got stuff that's not, and I just haven't honestly had the time to sit down and do that. And I know a lot of you will make fun of me and say things like, well, nobody has time if you're a real mechanic. Actually, probably nobody is saying that. I'm making that up in my head. But anyway, if you do say that, just, you know, I've got a day job. It takes up a lot of time. And I do this in what spare time I can find, the YouTube and the, where does this go? It's kind of a big, oh, it goes right here. Okay. Anyway, trying to do YouTube and things and working on things, and it takes a lot of time. And I do what I can when I can. All goes to say that I do my best. I don't know what I'm trying to say. At this point, I'm just rambling, and you should just go watch something else. I'm sure most of you have already done that. This is 3/8. Does that go there? Well, I'm missing one. Oh, it's right here. 7/16. There we go. You know, these ratcheting wrenches there, they're pretty neat. And you can buy them at any store that sells them. But don't buy these. These are cheap cobalts, and, you know, they some of them already don't work. what is this now? That's 15 millimeters goes there. What's that, half? Yeah, you wonder why I'm working on one unit and I've got both metric and SAE wrenches. You know, I've said it before several times in several videos. Polaris, they just hate consistency. It's bad enough you've got an American made or an American company like Polaris, and they put Japanese engines in them, which I approve that they're putting some Japanese engines in them. And I don't know about the newer ones, but anyway, the engines have metric things on them because that would make sense. They actually, the steering. So all of the chassis hardware is SAE, Imperial, American, whatever. So you have 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. A lot of things on the Polaris Sportsmans are 5/8, no, 1/2 inch, 9/16, some 7/16. That's pretty much the three main sizes on these Sportsmans. But the steering, the tie rods, where the tie rods meet what do you call it? The strut? Where the tie rods meet the strut, it's metric. And I don't know why, because where the tie rods meet the steering stem is SAE. And where the tie rods meet the strut, I think it's the nut is 17 millimeters and the bolt head is 15 millimeters. So don't fall out, just, okay, close it quickly. Good. So I don't know why they did that. Why just on the outer bit did they make the bolt a 15 millimeter head and the nut a 17 millimeter head? I don't understand, Polaris. Sometimes you do some crazy stuff. Anyway, can I close this now? No? Okay, now I can close it. Perfect. Okay. Well, since you all, the last couple of you, have hung out to the very end, and I thank you for it. Thank you very much for it, actually. We'll get a little sneak peek into the next video, and it will be a Project Donkey video. It will be the 4th video in the Project Donkey video series. As you know, in the last one we did this, right? We pretty much built the box. In the next video, we're getting into all these goodies right here. That's right. In the next video, we're building the suspension. But anyway, you have to wait for that one. I guess that'll do it for today's Nothing Something episode, whatever we are. And I will see you all later. Listen, y'all ride safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye now.